Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of The Daily. It's Tuesday, January 3rd, here with Greg Lawless. I'm Nick Fershaw, and Greg, we're going to start with some big news in the world of David Beckham and some very good news if you're an LA Galaxy fan.
Yeah, definitely. Word coming out of Paris. The sporting director for Paris Saint-Germain, Leonardo, saying, "C'est fini." It is finished, meaning that the chase for David Beckham is over. A little later on, the president said of PSG actually said it looks like he's going to stay in Los Angeles. Now, what was cited were family reasons, and Leonardo talked about how Beckham did want to go to PSG, but he also didn't want to disrupt his family, and for the welfare of his family, they're very happy in Los Angeles, and he said that he's not going to be joining PSG.
And we heard David Beckham talk about that all year long, really. That's certainly the second half of the season when he got a lot of questions about going abroad again, saying his family really settled in Los Angeles. He loves it there. Well, one newcomer to Los Angeles is Robbie Keane, and he might be on his way back to Europe, at least for a little bit. Greg, there's news that Robbie Keane could be training with Aston Villa for the next couple months.
Yeah, it's interesting to see what how this is going to shake out. I mean, basically, Keane saying that he's going to go on a loan to Aston Villa. Villa could use him. They're not doing very well for a club that a couple of years ago was even challenging for a top 4 spot in the Premier League. And the LA Galaxy reportedly are interested if the terms are correct. Now, we'll see if this all works out for them in the end. Obviously, preseason for MLS starts officially in about 2 weeks. And the Galaxy have a lot of games coming up in 2011 when you consider what they have to do for Champions League as well. So I'd be very curious to see whether they allow Keane to go, considering he's been playing straight through, all through 2012 and all that, or all through 2011. He needs his rest, so I think the offseason might be good for him.
And don't forget, he had some injuries at the end of 2011 that hindered his time with the LA Galaxy a little bit. Curious to see how that turns out. Let's move east to the New England Revolution, where we saw them sign their first designated player in franchise history last season. A big moment for the club. Now he's on his way out.
Yeah, Milton Carvalho has signed with a club down in Chile. He came in mid-season, and he didn't really impress that much. And some people wondered whether his fitness was ever really there. I just think that this is a question of Jay Heaps saying, "I'm going to build my team the way I want it to be," and Carvalho just doesn't seem to fit there.
3 goals in 12 games from Milton Carvalho up in New England. His time is done up there. One other player that's trying to at least be on the move, that's Eddie Johnson, a name we've heard thrown around for years and years. Coming back to MLS, what's he going to do? He was headed down to Mexico. We thought he was going to sign with Puebla. He failed the physical. It's a no-go for Eddie Johnson.
This is one of those strange ones. So he's been out of contract for about 6 months now and hasn't really been playing. So he gets a chance to go and join DeMarcus Beasley at Puebla. Remember, this club is coached by former MLS coach Juan Carlos Osorio. And he comes out and he's just not in shape. And supposedly he didn't look good from a fitness standpoint and didn't have the pace that they were looking for. So it looks like he is not going to be signing with Puebla.
One last thing we want to mention, the U.S. national team camp underway on Tuesday down in Phoenix, Arizona. This is Jurgen Klinsmann's group ahead of those friendlies later this month against Venezuela and Panama. A lot of MLSers in this camp, a lot of new guys trying to make their way onto Klinsmann's team. What do you expect from the camp?
Well, I think the big one here is to see who plays at center back, because you have George John in there, Omar Gonzalez, and Jeff Cameron. First of all, they're all big, huge guys, and everyone's been waiting to see them get their chance. So it would be very curious to see who ends up at center back, who are the 2 guys that end up at center back when you finally get to those matches.
And don't forget the under-20s, they're also in camp down in Fort Lauderdale. A lot of young kids there, 2 big names from MLS, Luis Gil from Real Salt Lake and Omar Salgado from the Vancouver Whitecaps. That does it for us. We'll be back with another edition of The Daily tomorrow.